Hello everyone, I'm Grumpus. Thanks for tuning in to Grumpus on Fire. Well, it's a beautiful day in Spring, Texas. Perfect day to sit in the chair, just enjoy the weather. So that means it's also a perfect day to cook brisket. Alright, so today I'm doing 2 briskets. One of them comes in at 17.5 pounds and another one comes in at 16.9. So we're going to trim these up. I'm just going to trim the 1-ups on camera, and I pretty much do it like everybody else does it when you see them do a brisket on YouTube. I'm just going to take a lot of the loose stuff off. I'm going to take off any of the gray meat. I want everything to look nice and pink and red. Kind of streamline it down. This one here is kind of an odd shape, but doesn't appear to have a whole lot of fat. Well, this is pretty fat here on the flat. But it's going to be a long cook, so I'm probably going to leave a little more fat on the flat than I normally do, because I don't want it to dry out. So let me just get that down. I'll probably leave about maybe 3/8. And we'll just keep whittling down. Feel it for any hard spots. That hard flat fat is not going to render down. So you might as well get it off of there so you can get more rub on the meat. I'm not going to get too crazy with it. I don't really spend that much time trimming them up. It's just for the family and it all tastes good. I've got a real hard fat pocket right here that you want to trim out. If you can trim it out and get this point a little bit more even and keep the flat as thick as you can, then a lot of times it'll cook a lot better and you don't have to worry about drying the flat out so much. Although it always comes out drier than the point. It's just the nature of the beast. And see, I'm just taking some of the discoloration out of it. I just don't like the looks of it. It's probably okay. I'm expecting this to be about a, well, since I'm putting 2 of them on the pit, probably about a 14-hour cook. I'm prepared to go 16 if that's what it takes for it probes right. Generally on your brisket, you want to use a time as a guide, but probing is when you pull your meat off. When it probes ready, then you're done. Some briskets go a little quicker than others. Some of them just seem like they stall forever, but you just have to hang in there, wait it out. That's just part of the fun. I'm just going to keep working on this. We'll probably cut and come back when it's ready to rub. Down here on the edges, especially the flat, a lot of times that meat's kind of gray. A lot of times it's just oxidation, but I just don't like the looks of it. So there's plenty of meat here. I'm not worried about cutting a little bit of it off. Just keep feeling around for any hard fat. Soft stuff you know is going to render down pretty good. But if you feel anything hard or it's down there in a pocket, just kind of push it up on the bottom. Get in there and just kind of scrape that out just a little bit. You don't have to worry about cutting the surrounding area too thin. A lot of times your feel is better than sight. That feels pretty good right there. I don't want to cut too much of this off on the flat, but that seemed pretty hard to me. So we just kind of streamline it just a little bit, and then we'll flip this thing over, see what it looks like on the back side. Alright, see if I can do this one-handed. Nope. There we go. It's not going to look too bad. I'm going to get some of the silver skin off of it, some of the loose stuff. I'm not going to go crazy. I mean, you get started on these things and just pick at it for, gosh, hours. Just get anything that looks like you don't want to chew on it, let's just get it off of here. Flat seems pretty good to me. Everything's nice and red. I done trimmed the edges off pretty good. Don't see any gray meat. This spot right here, let's see if we can get that out of there. Just make room for more rub. That all feels pretty soft. We've got one heavy piece right here in every brisket. We'll get a big portion of that off. You don't have to get it all off. I mean, it goes all the way through the whole brisket, so if you go too deep, you end up cutting your brisket in half. But we're going to shave down, kind of shape the brisket. I mean, you can stick your finger in there and you can really tell it's deep. Let's just see. I'm not going to go all the way in, but I want a big chunk of that out. Can you see that? I hope you can. We'll just take that whole chunk off. How's that? See, that's hard. Hear that? That's never going to render down. So you need to cut it off now. Cut it off and stick it to the side of your plate. So we'll just get it off now so we can get more rub on this. So I'm getting my thumb under there. Feel that joint right there. Already going deeper than I expected. See what I mean about getting carried away? Just keep picking at it, and it'll never heal if you keep picking at it. But we're in this deep. Let's just get it out of here. go. Cut most of it out. We just trim up these edges a little bit so they don't burn. There we go. A couple more little spots. This is not looking too bad. What did I say a little bit ago? I wasn't going to work on this that much. You get in the zone and you just can't hardly stop. One little spot right here. It's pretty hard. You can see we got that hard spot out of there, and it got that point a little flatter, so maybe it'll cook a little more even. And anything we can do to keep the flat from outrunning the point is a plus. Alright, pretty streamlined. Looks like everything's nice and pink on the edges. I think it's time to put some rub on this. Then I need to go check the pit. I started that fire about, I don't know, half hour ago. So we'll get this rubbed down. I'm not going to record the second brisket. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing, same size. So I'll be right back. Let me go get my rub. All right, I'm back. The rubs we're going to use today, I'm going to rub both of them down with some Kosmo Q Texas beef. This looks to be kind of an all-purpose rub, a lot of salt and pepper in it. Put a light coating of that on, and then on one of the briskets, I'm going to use some Kosmo Q Cow Cover Hot. I'll try that out. Haven't used it on anything yet, so I think the brisket's something safe because there's, you know, not that much bark per slice. So I think I can sneak that by on the family and see how they like it. And then on the other brisket, I'm going to do some Killens. This also has some cayenne in it, but not as much. So I'll put this on the other one, and we'll see what the family prefers. So let's come over to light coating of Texas beef. Catch all the edges first. Get in any pockets we cut. It's a big piece of meat. It'll take the seasoning. And this one here, I'm going to put a hot cow cover. If I can get it open. Here we go. Sure smells good. I haven't used it on anything yet. If you've watched any of my other videos, I've pointed out my wife don't like things too hot, so I'm kind of taking my life in my own hands putting this on here. I'm not going to tell her. We'll just see how she does. Anyway, that's pretty good coating right there. I didn't use a binder. The meat was still a little damp. I don't use a lot of binders on my meat because, well, I just don't see the point in it usually because I've never had a problem with my stuff sticking. But for the most part, I have used binders, but for the most part, I don't. Let's flip this thing over. Let's come back with our Texas beef. And come back with our cow cover hot. So these will be the first briskets I've done on my new pit. Kind of anxious to see how it comes out. If previous cooks are any indication, there shouldn't be any issues at all, because that pit really holds its temperature nice. I don't have to babysit it that much. Like I said, it's a good day to do nothing, so we'll just watch smoke. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. My nose is running. That's got more pepper in it than I thought. Alright, we'll let that sweat down. I'll go out and check my fire, and we'll come back, trim up the other brisket, let it sweat down, and probably in another 30 minutes we'll get them out on the pit. And that's where I'll see y'all. Alright, let's get this meat on the pit. Alright, I'll put the toothpicks in these so I can remember which one had the hot rub on it. We'll let these go, oh, maybe 4 or 5 hours. So we're going to try to run these about 225. These are going to finish way in the evening, probably at the middle of the night. But what else have I got to do? Well, it's been 2 hours. Let's take a peek, see how they look. Well, they're coming along nice. Let's give them a little spritz. Right now, the grate temperature is showing about 245. And we're spritzing them with apple cider vinegar and water, about half and half. Alright, we'll check them in a couple more hours. Probably spritz them in 1 more hour. So, see you in an hour. Well, we're back. We've been cooking now for about 6.5 hours. Of course, it got dark and it got cold. I had to put a warmer shirt on. So the top brisket, it's stalled out about 162. The bottom one's at 166. It's been there for quite a while, so it's stalled out too. So we'll just go ahead and put a wrap on these. Check that out. Can you see it, or am I standing in the way? There you go. Yeah, it got dark on me. I had to put some lights up, so it's not looking. I mean, it's definitely got a ways to go, but it looks pretty good. I'll wet this down one more time. I'm just going to wrap it. I'm not putting anything with it. We've been running about probably averaging 250. Alright, get this thing wrapped up. And the foil's not hardly wide enough, but I think I made it long enough that we can get it wrapped up. I believe that'll work. Alright. Well, the briskets are wrapped, put back on the pit. I'm going to try to maintain an average temperature around 250. We get up around probably around 195. I'll start probing. As soon as they're tender, ready to pull off, we'll come back and I'll show you pulling them out. And then we'll take them in the house and let them rest for a little bit. And then open them up, see what they look like. All right, we're back. Lower brisket is showing 104. We are at the 9-hour mark now. So let's pull that bottom one out. Let's probe it, see how she looks. All right, let's see if we can peel this back a little bit without getting grease everywhere. Try to stay out of the way. Let's pull the probe out. Oh wow, that looks really nice. Okay, let's see. All right, we are showing 205. Oh wow, that is nice. My arm. Let me try my other hand. I guess my arm's in the way. As you can see, that just going right on in. Yep, this one's ready. Okay, let's pull this one out. We're going to wrap it real loose. Take it in the house, let it rest. I don't know. Probably won't do anything with it until we pull the other one off. It's not going to hurt it to rest for a couple hours. All right, let's just run that in the house. Set it to the side and let it rest a bit. This top brisket is still showing about 190, so we're going to let it go just a little bit longer, and then we'll probe it and see how it's going to do. Feels pretty good. Let's just probe it right now. It's still got a little ways to go. It's almost there, but we'll give that a little longer. All right, we are back once again, hopefully for the last time. Let's probe this top brisket, see how it looks. Sure is juicy. I think we got a little bit longer to go. That says 6. That just doesn't feel that tender. I got a tough piece of meat because we're about 2 hours past the other one when I pulled. So I think we're just going to let it run a little longer. She's temping out at about 202, but that's not as tender as I'd like to have it. So we're going to fold this back up, put our probe back in, and let's let this run another half hour, so we'll get another couple of degrees on it, and then we'll come back and check it later. All right, we're back. It's been 15 hours and 40 minutes. Let's probe it, see if this is done. Oh yeah, we're done. Oh, that's nice. All right, let's get this pulled and taken in the house and let it rest. All right, well, we've rested about 2.5 hours. And look at the color on that. It came out pretty good. Pull it back here where you can see it. Poured the juice off of it. Look at the amount of juice that came off that. So I poured that out. We'll let the fat rise to the top, skim some of that off, then we're going to use that juice and put it back over the slices. So let's cut this thing open, see what happens. Oh, that's nice. Can you see that? Pull the piece out here, see how it looks. Oh yeah, we've got a good bend on it. Nice smoke ring. Can you see it? I'm gonna hold it up here, hope the camera will focus in. Nice smoke ring. Come on, camera, focus. There we go. Good pull. Well, I guess we need to bite into a piece and give it a test. Here we go. Oh yeah, that's good barbecue. Well, let's cut a few more pieces up. I mean, look at that. Look how that slices. Look at that smoke ring. Well, I'll just keep running some slices. Slice it all the way back to the point. Pull that back. See the juice coming out of that? Can you see it? All right, cut up some more. Alright, let's see if we can get the... I'm going to cut the point off of it. Get it over here where you can see what I'm doing. I'll separate the point from the flat. Had to give me some more flat slices. Since the grain runs the other direction on the point, that'll let us cut it the way we need to cut it. Well, it's just almost falling apart. Alright, so let's cut this across, right in half. Let's give us a couple here on the end. There we go. There's our point. Try a piece of that. Yes, sir. That's going to work. Well, I'm going to finish cutting this up. I'm not going to cut the other one up, but that's for a different event. I'll be back with some closing thoughts. So both these briskets were select. That's what my grocery had, so that's what I bought. There's nothing wrong with buying select. Sometimes they can be a little tough, but every animal's different. So you just never know exactly what you're getting. But the whole secret is don't rush your cook. Go ahead and season them up. Don't be afraid of the season. That's a big chunk of meat. It can take it. But put it on the pit. Don't rush it. Now in my particular case, I bought 2, put them on the pit. One of them I pulled. It was tender at 11 hours into the cook. The other one went almost 15 hours. And there was only a half a pound difference between the 2. So that's a perfect example of probing your meat. Probe it, pull it when it's tender. Bring it up to temperature. That gives you a starting point. But just because it's hit temperature doesn't mean it's ready. So probe it. When it's ready, it's ready. You can't rush it. If you rush it, you're just going to end up with a tough piece of meat. Can't say enough about the Kosmo Cube rubs. We rubbed this one down with the Texas beef, which is, I think, is AP rub. And then we followed it up with the cow cover hot. Now, if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know my wife doesn't like things hot. But she tore into this brisket and she said it's the best I ever made. So don't be afraid of the hot when you see that in the title. As a big piece of meat, it can handle it. As far as the outcome, this was a great brisket. It came out just superb. So hey, if you like what we've done today, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, why not? And we'd sure appreciate it if you wanted to do that. So I'm Grumpus. Thanks for watching Grumpus on Fire. We'll see you next time.